Okay, this is our knees to center swing drill. Again, the goal of this drill as we're doing it is to increase sensation from the ground up and help you feel that stretch shortening reflex through that thorax, pelvis, and lower extremity, and then to help with that kinematic sequence where we're getting that pelvis to move a little bit first, again, creating that stretch shortening sequence as we follow through. The pelvis moves first, the thorax comes, then the arms, and then the club. That slingshot effect. This helps. Again, this is big for power, but again, also for timing and sequencing. Now, we need to make sure as we do this drill that we're doing it right and we're really understanding and sensing what's happening there at the feet. Now, we work on what's called pronation and supination at the feet in clinic. It's important we have access to this range of motion. We're really good at sensing it and feeling it. And then again, the hips, the knees, the ankles, the pelvis itself, thorax, trunk rotation, shoulder rotation, everything like that, all things we work on, everything that's part of the golf swing, we're working on. Now, assuming we have good access, we worked on our mobility, we worked on strength, we've worked on some ground, floor, maybe med ball exercises to help cue some of this stuff, get things moving. This is kind of that last step where we put a club in your hands and we try, this is one of many swing drills we might use to help transfer that to the golf course a little bit better, where you can feel it in the actual golf swing itself. You can try it on the range before you start doing your other swing exercises and drills there in your practice. So what this drill is we come up to the top of the backswing. We're going to pause for a second. I'm limited in here in what I can do, but what we do, top of the backswing, we pause for a second, and then I want you to think about recentering your knees. Again, what happens is our pelvis comes along for the right to do that, and you have to push through your foot to do that. Both feet have to play along. This is kind of connecting your foot to the ground to create that hip internal rotation and pelvic rotation we've been working on in clinic and on the gym floor. So what we do here is, again, we think about centering our knees, bringing our knees back towards the midline. That's going to start that process of the downswing with a little bit of stretch, that stretch shortening cycle, and that kinematic sequence where we get that cueing where hips are coming first, and then we can bring everything else along for the ride. Okay? So again, we're coming up to the top of the backswing here, center the knees, and then follow through. Do everything else as you would. I want you to get that 1 second, that half second though, of centered knees. Feel how you have to push this backside foot down and away like that to do it. You have to take this lead side foot and you have to kind of open it up. It has to do this a little bit. That's supination on this side, pronation on this side. Things we work on in clinic. Now we're doing that in the actual backswing, where we're pronating one foot, supinating the other. We're really digging our feet into the ground, which is key for power. Again, from the ground up, we start that process, and I want you to feel that pressure and that tension you just created in your feet, and then use that in that downswing. Okay, so go from there, get that stretch shortening, knees to center, use that in the downswing. Use the tension you're building through here, thorax, pelvis, use the tension you're creating at your feet. Okay, give that a shot. You can do it at home, you can do it without a ball, then take it to the range and feel what it's like to start taking some swings that way. Give it a shot. Okay, this is our banded knees together downswing drill. So what we're doing here, we have a band up high. The motion is generally a chop-like motion across. You can think of it almost as a downswing, but not quite, more just of a chop. Okay, what we're doing here with the knees, we have a light band around the knees. This just cues us to push knees out. The last thing we're going to do is, in this position, is we're going to work on this swing drill, but we're doing it now with a band. So what's happening here is I want you to think, as you rotate your body towards the right, I want you to think keeping pressure into this band outwards, but also the knees together working back in. So again, pressure pushing out, this kind of gives you feedback and cueing at the hips. And I want you to think, bring both hips towards the center. This is knees together towards the center. So we're back in our backswing, and then I want you to think pushing the band out, but also knees together, and then do our chop. Let everything reset, rotate back, pressure into the band, knees to center, and back. Rotate back, push apart, knees to center, and down and chop. What that does is that works on initiating, getting our hips woken up to then go knees to center. So this is creating that separation from the pelvis and the trunk like we need in that downswing. So we're here, we take knees out, and then everything together, knees together. We're getting that good pelvic rotation left while our trunk is staying right. And then we can use that tension we build to chop and pull that trunk down along with it. I want you to do this on both sides. That's best for transfer. But again, what this is doing is helping to create that separation from our pelvis and our trunk. And it's working on this band is just around the knees, is helping to cue so we can feel the hips, what's happening at those hips. And then I want you to use that sensation at the hips to figure out, what do I need to do to get knees together, to get this pelvis, these hips rotating internally here and externally here, to get that pelvic separation coming from the hips. Give it a shot. Okay, a better way of doing our banded knees to center separation drill for the golf swing is to have a band up high. What you're gonna do is bring this band around here like this. So behind you, just like this. Now we're gonna do that same thing. We're going to imagine we're in a golf setup here. So I'm in the top of the backswing, and then from here, I'm going to bring my knees to center, and then follow through with the rest of the band. Now what you wanna do is make sure that that band is coming down here like this. So let it come around your shoulder. If this band, as we go knees to center and down, is coming up through your neck, then we've almost encouraged a kind of over the top type swing. Now the goal of this isn't to work necessarily too much on the plane of your swing, but it's something that we don't want to encourage. So what we can do is have a little bit of a cue, some feedback to make sure that we're not doing that. And that's if this band comes around your shoulder instead of up here through the neck, right? So again, the main focus of this drill is let this bring you back. I want you to go knees to center, quickly bring the pelvis, let the trunk stay stable here, and then down and around. What we can do to make this a little bit easier is bring yourself back from the top of this backswing and start here. You might find that you're able to get a little bit more motion at that knees to center to feel it better, and then work back into this position more and more. Try to get some from there, and again, follow through. Okay, a better way of doing that knees to center drill. And again, we can have a band around the knees if you want to cue the hips so we know what muscles that should be working and we should be feeling as we do this. And again, that version of it that we can do before this, and then upgrade to here where we have no band around the knees and we just get full true motion where we have to create it ourselves and create that connection. Give it a shot.